Going on, everyone? Welcome back. It is a new month and it's time to check out the current state of crypto mining. So we're going to be looking at the profits on things like GPUs, CPUs, ASICs, and so on. Let's see what it's looking like for the month of July. All right, so we are starting off with GPUs here, 11 cents per kilowatt hour. That is my power price, but most people in the States, it sounds like the average power price is around 15 to 20 cents here, and still a lot of our friends out in Europe are paying upwards of 30 plus. But there are some people in Europe which have been seeing their power drop. Regardless, there is a lot more expensive power prices for home miners out there. But starting off at 11 cents per kilowatt hour, we can see that is not looking too rough. Like, honestly, look at a 4090. If you had free power, you'd only be making $1.39. That's pretty low here still. It's still sad times on the GPU side of things, which it has been for the past 3 years, pretty much since the Ethereum merge. We do have a profit of 22 cents. Looking at the 3070, which is, where are you? Here it is, most popular GPU most people do have. That's only 9 cent profit with 37 cents if you had free power. Now let's just bump this up to 15 cents here just to see what it's kind of looking like for the average price in the United States here. And we can see that a 4080 is at 6 cents. We got the CMP 170 is only making 20 cents after power. So it makes a lot of sense why still so many people are just turned off. And if you are underneath anything from a 4000 series, it's pretty much looking like you're in the negatives at 15 cent power. And A2000 here is breaking even right now. And then if we come into something like 20 cent power here, it is looking like nothing is profitable at all. Zero profits if you're at 20 cent plus power. This is ultimately one of the main reasons why GPU mining is still dead for most of the people out there, because power costs are not making it worth turning on any type of GPU. So coming into the CPU mining calculator here at rabidmining.com, which still needs to get updated and fixed, we're not really seeing that great of profits on a 3900X. It is saying 46 cents after power, but I don't know how accurate this is. Everything in red here is having API errors. So this needs to get fixed ASAP. I'm trying to get the dev, but I haven't been able to get a hold of them. So we'll see what happens. Maybe eventually I'm just going to have to take this down, or I'm going to have to find someone else that could fix this for me. But for now, we're not going to have to go to this. The largest coin that we have been using so far for profitability has been Spectre. So we're just going to look at some numbers for Spectre because this is broken, Cubic is dead, and things are looking kind of rough on a lot of the coins there as well. All right, so looking at a 3900X on Spectre, that's about 10.5 kilohash, but we can see the current network hash rate is now upwards of over 184 megahash. So the large botnet is back online. He turns on and goes away every couple days here, and as of last night, he just turned on. So these numbers are looking a lot lower than they were yesterday, the day before, a month ago, and so on. So right now, 10.5 kilohash on a 3900X is making about 63 cents a day. Now this is only using about 112 to 114 watts on a 3900X at 11 cents per kilowatt hour. That's about 29 cents worth of power. So we're still at profit here upwards of like 32 cents, 33 cents or something like that. So rewinding this and kind of going into 15 cent power, that would be about 40 cents worth of power. So we are still seeing about 23 cents worth of profitability at 15 cent power. And then looking at 20 cents, that would be 53 cents worth of power costs, and that is now putting us around 10 cent profit. So still quite a bit more, and profit is still there at 20 cents even with the botnet on. Hopefully he turns off again in the next day or two and those profits spike again. So now moving forward to the 7950X, this is about 19.4 kilohash. And remember that this is also about 50% less to build than buying a single 4090. So that's one thing to keep in your mind. We're almost the same amount before power, but then again, this CPU also uses quite a bit less power than the GPU variant that, still isn't making anything because crypto on GPUs really sucks right now. But coming into here, we can see $1.17 per day at 11 cents per kilowatt hour. That's actually about 41 cents worth of power costs that you need there. So we're still sitting upwards of around 60 to 70 cents in profitability here, which is not too shabby. Now, moving forward into 15 cents, that's about 56 cents worth of power that this would be using. So we are still about, we're 50 cents or so in profitability, 45 to 60. And then looking at 20-cent power here, that is 75 cents worth. So we're still making upwards of 30 some cent plus after power on a 7950X, which is looking, about 5 or 6, maybe even 10 times more profitable than a current 4090 at 50% less of a cost. So that's pretty insane. And just yesterday and the day before, this was actually making over $3 a day. It was like $3.30 before that botnet picked up here. So we are seeing massive profitability over GPUs on CPUs still, which has been pretty much the case for the past 3 years. All right, so now coming into mining now here to take a look at the world of ASICs, we can see that Kaspa miners have actually been dethroned. I know, that's crazy, huh? So we have the brand new DR7 SC Prime miner here that is releasing from Bitmain here. Obviously, when this releases, the network hash rate is going to spike pretty good, and this profitability is probably going to drop pretty hard unless Bitmain pumps that coin. We'll see what happens here, but right now we can see $81 a day after power at 11 cents per kilowatt hour. Let's just jump this to 15, get rid of the cheaper power garbage here. 15 cents for most home miners type of thing. Now, obviously, a lot of these big ASICs are not for home miners, but if you are looking for any type of ASIC miners, check them links down in the description. But right now, we can see at 15 cents per kilowatt hour, $80 to $83. This website actually updates everything in real time. As you can see, it's updating every 5 to 10 seconds here. But we're sitting at $82 now after power at 15 cents per kilowatt hour. We have the KS5 Pro here at $73. We have the KS5 at 72, KS5M at 51. But the big point here is I didn't expect that Kaspa miners would be dethroned yet, and it looks like they finally have. But I still don't expect this one here to last. Be careful when you FOMO into this, because again, once this goes online, that network hash rate is going to spike pretty good, and it won't take long for this to kind of, come down the list here. But for the most part, after the DR7, we're seeing Kaspa pretty much topping this list. Now, we do have some of the big Bombax miners here. The 15.5 gigahash Ethash ASICs are looking to be doing about $22 a day. That's pretty nice here, but that's a lot of freaking hash rate on Ethash. I would love one of these miners, but I still have not been able to test one. There are smaller versions here, which are obviously pretty good as well, but these big boys are looking pretty amazing. We got the L9 coming in here. That is set to release first batch next month, I believe. And that's currently making about $17.78 a day if you had one. Network hash rate, depending on how many they made, is going to start picking up. There's more script miners emerging. So, efficiency is going to start turning into a very key process here when it comes to script, Litecoin and Dogecoin. But we'll see what happens once all these miners finally emerge. Is L7 is going to be in trouble? Maybe they'll get next to free. We'll have to wait and see there. But the big thing is here, I'm trying to get my hands kind of on an L9. We'll see, because it's currently at $18 a day, where right now my KS2s, you can see, are only at $4.70. So two of those, say $10, rounding it up to $5 a day. And then you're going to cut the KS1 down to here at only 2 some. So in theory, for the same amount of power, the L9 would be making me more per day. And that way, if I want to hodl the Dogecoin for an Elon Musk pump moving into next year, that would be the better option. Or if I wanted, I could swap that into Kaspa and get more Kaspa than what my current Kaspa KS2s and 1s are making at about the same amount of power. So that's kind of like the transition I'm thinking about. Plus, we're going to have block reward reductions happening on Kaspa. It looks like the rewards are fixed for gas, so we may not see big blocks anymore like we did for those couple days there. That's all up in the air right now when it comes to all these miners, but I think my next move might be moving into an L9. What do you guys think? Should I take the plunge or not? All right, guys, so that pretty much does wrap up this video. As always, for the past 3 years, GPUs are still looking like the worst profitable way to mine crypto. ASICs are looking pretty good, but obviously they are too expensive. And when it comes to consumer grade hardware, CPUs are still dominant in profitability. I have not checked out FPGAs for a while, so I apologize. I will get my spreadsheets up to date, look at some hash rates of current FPGAs all around, and try and get that out for you guys as well, because I know there's a lot of FPGA miners that love FPGA mining, including myself. So we'll be checking those out very soon as well. Thank you for checking out this video. Let me know down in the comment sections what you're mining, what you're looking into, and what your future plans are for the next bull run. I'll see you on the next one. Rabid out.